Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce my research about examining national identity in design. In this project, I will focus on elderly relatives of Chinese Australians. As we all know, Australia is a country of immigrants. A considerable number of Chinese immigrants settled here. In Australia, about 46,000 people over the age of 65 were born in China. With the increasing number of Chinese immigrants, the elderly groups of Chinese Australians is also growing. Based on this situation, I started to research about the aged care used by elderly relatives of Chinese Australians. The problems of the aged care use can be divided into three aspects: language barrier, living habits, and insufficient care from their children. This problem may lead them to lack a sense of belonging to Australia, and some mental disease even can lead to physical disease, which eventually shorten the elderly life expectancy. Based on my research, the target group of my design solution is elderly relatives of Chinese Australians. My research aim is to provide a more considerable service for them and increasing their sense of belonging in Australia. Before my design solution, I analyzed two case studies about the existing nursing home in Melbourne. I summarized their success and failures, and I think this is a reference from my design solution. My design solution is a new aged care service center for the elderly Chinese Australians called CAACC. First, I want to introduce the logo design about CAACC. It can be divided in two parts: the graphics and the text form. The graphic is mainly represent the considerate care and love from our center, and the people I draw on the downside can represent the survey team and the elderly. The color I choose for the logo is pink, which can represent the love and enthusiasm. And there are some applications for the logo. Next, I want to introduce design location selection. Based on my case study, I want to choose Melbourne as the first city to set up the CAACC. Glenville is a suburb in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. It is one of several suburbs that Chinese arrivals are calling home. Glenville provides the crucial building blocks to begin a life in a new country: good public school, education, transport, a safer environment, and an important factor, one other new immigrants. Many new immigrants live here, their children go to school here, and of course their elders live here. Therefore, in this Chinese community, we will also encounter the problem of providing for the elderly. Choosing such a rapidly developing Chinese community as a pilot will provide better support for other developing Chinese community. Next, I will introduce the surveys. The first part is the quality care and personal care plans. And the second one is Chinese culture environment, including the Chinese look, feel, interior decoration, cultural entertainment, activities, and so on. The third one is the working service team. The working service team is like the social worker in China. It can visit the elderly relatives and also helping them in the community. I think it can increase the unity of the all Chinese community. And the slogan of CAACC is Care Them, Relive Them, Better Life. We hope that based on our system, we can give them considerate care and also increase their sense of belonging, and the elderly can have a better life, and their children, it means the young Chinese Australians, can live better and work harder in Australia. I also make a simulation of the plan graph of the CAACC, and it can divide it in 4 parts. We also plan the CAACC, a small-scale building, and finally this service center model can be extended to all Chinese community in Australia. And the final part is the storyboard from the Anna, who is the target audience of our project, and also Jack, who is the volunteer from the working service team in CAACC. At the end, I want to introduce my emotional design analysis. The first one is the visual design. The logo on the exterior uses paint to highlight love, tolerance, and enthusiasm, reflecting the purpose of the service from our CAACC. And the behavioral design. Through the personals and customers' present plans, the elderly at home and in the center can have been cared from various degrees, which not only protects their health but also enhance their sense of belonging. The final one is the reflective design. The elderly relative of Chinese Australian homesickness from the motherland is held here, and they are taken care from both physical and mentally, and their children are at ease. The elderly can have a better life. Their children can live better and work better harder in Australia. And this is the reference. Thanks for coming to my presentation.